Hey guys, so last night I went to the theater like everybody did, and I apologize for this being a day late, but I originally had planned to do my reviews as soon as I got home, but I was dead tired. It was a long, long day. I originally was gonna like take a nap before I went to the movies, but nope, that went out the window. So I went in, was kind of still a little bit tired, and when I got home, I was extremely tired, so I just went straight to bed. I had to go to work the next day, and I figured I'd get the reviews done as soon as possible as I get off when I got off at work. And I got off work today just about a few minutes ago, and here I am. Let's start talking about these movies, as I'm probably gonna be here forever, especially with the one. Let's get into the one that not a lot of people really probably care much what my opinion is on it, and that is Sisters. Yeah, I saw Sisters last night. Uh, it was, of course, like the less packed theater of all the theaters in at the Regal Cinema I was at. Um, this movie actually looked pretty good. I kind of felt bad for it, honestly, that it just unfortunately fell on the bad weekend to be released uh, because of what was playing. I it looked like a decent movie from my standpoint. It looked like a pretty good comedy. The trailers I thought were funny. I love Amy Poehler. I love Tina Fey. I mean, I think they're both very very funny, and you don't ever really see them do many movies as of late, and that's a damn shame. So I was like, I want to support it, and it's been getting decent reviews. I figured, what the hell, this should be good, like a good 2 hour distraction before I go see the other film. Uh, and you know what? It was an okay comedy. It was definitely the weakest of the two movies that I saw last night, but it was pretty good. I did like it. Honestly, it's one of those movies that you sat there, by the end of it, I kept going, well, by the end of it, I was like, well, it was a good comedy, but it could have been a hell lot better with the people, with knowing who is involved with this movie. Um, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are great in this. They are fantastic. Like, they have great comedic chemistry. That's not a shock, I don't think, to anybody. They are convincing as sisters. They are, like, every time they bicker and have conversations, they feel like real conversations because these two have been friends for years and years and years, and they're basically sisters in real life. But not, by blood or anything. And it's convincing. It comes on, it comes across on screen that like the chemistry they have between each other. Um, Tina Fey, like I like that we saw like Tina Fey playing a different role than what she usually does. I've never seen her do like the wild, crazy person, the party person. She usually plays the straight laced person. That's what Amy Poehler's playing in this movie. She's playing the party girl and all that stuff like that. 40-year-old that does not want to age, doesn't know her real age and stuff like that. I liked that these both of them were pretty unashamed to show their bodies, and they're not fully naked or anything. But what I mean by that is that they're kind of unashamed of their bodies and the fact that you know they have belly fat. They've had kids over the past few years, and they're not exactly the perfect woman. What you know society would call the perfect woman, but I have no problem with them whatsoever. I think Tina Fey is a gorgeous, or very pretty, and so is Amy Poehler. And I love that they're unabashedly ashamed of themselves. They're having a blast doing this movie. Honestly, you can tell. Also, this movie, I swear, they just the rest of the cast of this movie was just a bunch of SNL alumni, past and present. Let me go for like who's all in this because I don't remember all their names off the top of my head. So let me go for this. It's been a day. You got who was Kate McKinnon in that movie? I can't remember what she was in that movie. My bad. Uh, Give me 1 second. Sorry. I know there's a lot more than that. Let's see. There we go. Okay. You had Maya Rudolph as the jealous, neighbor-esque person that they knew when they were younger, and Tina Fey's had problems, and she keeps kicking her out of her party throughout the movie. Maya Rudolph is really funny. I actually really liked her in this movie. I love Maya Rudolph. Oh yes, that was Samantha Bee as the she's she and her husband are this very they're this wild couple when they were a wild couple when they were younger, and then now they're basically domesticized. I don't know how to say that word. In that like they have a kid, and they basically show up at one point as with their kid to the party with their kid, and Tina Fey and Amy Poehler tell them to get the kid fuck out of here, and they basically drop the kid off at their grandma's, and that's pretty funny. I found that and she ends up, her and her husband get wasted and going freaking crazy. Especially she does. Like, it was kind of funny. I knew I recognized her from somewhere. Why did I not recognize Samantha Bee? I love her. Rachel Dratch is hilarious too, and she's this woman who's afraid of aging and like keeps keeps talking very negatively about age, being old, and all stuff like that. Being a downer at the party. Oh yeah, Bobby Moynihan. That's who I wanted to talk about. Bobby Moynihan has a pretty interesting role in this movie. He was pretty goddamn funny. He's this guy who really tries way too hard. They've known since they were little, or since they were in school. Who he's this guy who tries too hard to be funny and like tries to make everybody laugh. I think everybody knows that kind of person. I kind of was that person at some points, and it results and nobody laughs at his jokes, but like his character ends up doing a bunch of fucking drugs, and it results in some of the funniest parts of the whole damn movie. Yeah, John Leguizamo, that was kind of funny seeing him in here. You got John Cena. John Cena is in another comedy, and he's pretty funny in the scenes that he's in. I don't think he was as funny as he was in Trainwreck. Nothing. I don't even think it's gonna be hard for him to ever top his role in Trainwreck. That was hilarious. Yeah, that's as far as that. I did like that this movie, when the party, like, they get right into the party like within like less than 30 minutes into this movie, so it's like straight to the party. Like pretty much the majority of the movie is the party that they have at their parents' house. And I like that at the beginning, you know, they invite all their high school friends who are all grown up now, and they all like, you know, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are expecting like they're gonna have this wild and crazy party, and then they cut to like what's going on later on in the night, and they're all just sitting there drinking wine, looking miserable, like having an old or middle-aged party, and like nobody's having any fun. And then they decide to call John Cena, who gives them drugs, and they all go fucking out of their mind. It's pretty goddamn funny. The hell. Anyways, there's something sticky on my freaking table. Anyways, what I didn't like about this movie is that this movie is one of those instances in that a lot of this movie is improvised. It is. I mean, you can tell like some of it works and some of it doesn't. And a lot of the times it, like, especially the first half of this movie, there's a lot of jokes that die a very bad death. Like, I remember the first half of this movie, I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be a long, long sit. There was one joke in particular that they just would not let go. The Korean, when they were at the beauty salon, and there's a Korean girl. Let me find her name. What was her? Haiwan. And there's I swear it felt like 5 minute improv of them, or Amy Poehler and this girl saying Haiwan, how to say Haiwan, because Amy Poehler saying it funny, and she's not saying it right. Nah, it goes on and 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 on. And I'm like, oh, shut up! This is not funny. There's a lot of scenes like that in this movie, and there's just a lot of improv that just goes nowhere. It just fucking drags the movie down. Um, and it's like there's a lot of it's one of those movies. It's like it just with the people involved, you expect a lot more. I kind of compared it to like Date Night, which was that movie with Tina Fey and Steve Carell, and that you have two very talented people that carry a movie that would otherwise be complete and utter shit. And it's the same way here. Although I kind of like this a little bit better, because the movie does pick up when it gets to the party stuff. I'll give it that. It definitely does pick up, and it is one of those movies that you've seen before. It's kind of like, what was I? Oh, it's kind of like The Night Before, in the fact that it's two older, middle-aged people that are never really learned how to grow up, and have their own issues and stuff like that. Tina Fey with her sister or with her daughter, and not being able to keep a job and living this party lifestyle that her daughter doesn't want to live with her. And Amy Poehler's just a woman who's suffocating basically her parents. I'll give him this. James Brolin, forget the other lady, seen her in a million movies. They play their parents, and their monologue at the end is about how their kids are driving them fucking crazy is insane. I loved it. It was honestly one of the most realistic, I think one of the most realistic conversations I've heard in a movie in a long goddamn time. And it was really funny. But yeah, it just, this movie, like, it was, like I said, it's like The Night Before. It's the cut, it is, like I said, the story of like a bunch of older people that can't grasp growing up, and they have trouble growing up, and they can't quit living their lifestyles that they had when they were younger, yada yada yada. It's it's seen something you've seen before, and it's not done horribly. There's pretty good acting in this film. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are pretty damn good actresses. It's a movie that I would say is a rental. I wouldn't say pay full price. Maybe a cheap theater. It's not a bad sit. If you've seen the other movies that are out right now, yeah, maybe go check it out. If you haven't seen Creed or anything like that, I don't know. Like, I almost wouldn't even recommend that. Like, I would just say rental, or if it's on Netflix, or even a cheap theater. It's a decent sit. If your girl wants to see it, it was all pretty much girls in the theater when I saw it, and they were having a pretty good time watching it. Although there was a lot of quiet, there was a lot of silence in that movie, like the first half especially. As far as trailers go, I got My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, because that needs to happen. Why is this happening? Here's the plot of the movie. It's now set like 13 years later, where now it's focusing on the girl's daughter is all grown up, and she wants to go to college and get away from her crazy Greek family, but they wanted her to get married to a Greek, hence pretty much the same goddamn story as the first one. And also there's a subplot where the parents are, the older couple, the main girl from the first one's parents, are somehow not legally married. They find out they're not legally married, so they have to have a big fat Greek wedding. Yay! So there you go. That's the plot. I don't know what the hell the point of it is. There was only one joke in there that actually made me laugh, and it was from the Crazy Aunt. I forget how it was. It's at the very end. It's something about keeping your legs closed, or it's hard to explain. I got the Brothers Grimsby, What the hell is this? So it's the Brothers Grimsby is Sacha Baron Cohen and Mark Strong. Um, yeah, they're brothers that are separated from birth, and they one's an assassin who's Mark Strong, obviously, and one's a family man played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and there's wackiness involved. Yay! It's from the guy who made Now You See Me, and what else did he make? Yeah, he made the Incredible Hulk, and it's also I think from the writers of Borat and stuff like that. So we'll see. I love Sacha Baron Cohen. Honestly, it kind of does seem like a little fun concept. I love Sacha Baron Cohen, and I like Mark Strong enough. And the last trailer was Dirty Grandpa. Seriously, what the fuck is this? Dirty Grandpa. This movie is wrong on so many damn levels. Why is Robert De Niro doing these? I mentioned this in the intern review. Why is every movie he does nowadays involve him in boner jokes? He is an actor that deserves a hell lot better than what he's getting. And he's not, I'm pretty sure he's not short up for money. Come on, man. Quit doing this shit. It's him and it's Zac Efron. Zac Efron is his grandson who Robert De Niro's wife dies, and he wants to take his grandson, who's about to get married, to Fort Lauderdale, and they go to spring break, and basically Robert De Niro takes advantage of this because he's a horny old man and is having sex with Aubrey Plaza. I am not making that fucking up. That'd be like if Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro had sex in The Intern. That's about as disgusting. What the fuck? I mean, okie dokie then. That looked bad. That looked really bad. No, not at all. De Niro, quit doing shit like this. Yeah, that's as far as trailers, and I'll be back here in a few minutes with the review everybody wants me to get into anyways.